Yeah, okay. So we are live. Uh,
Hello.
so, uh, Hi everyone, from wherever you are joining this session. Along with me, I have my good friend John, who I've known for a number of years. And as you can see, I was just prior to the session, I was talking. Still, he is looking physically very fit. I fortunately I got an opportunity to visit Spain at his house and came to know that prior to pursuing the MBA program, he was quite a bit in football. So probably the physical fitness comes from there. And after going through various academic rigors through Esade and all, he worked in a number of organizations, and now he runs a startup, Vilma. So we'll talk about it that also. So John joins us from Spain. Thank you, John, for taking out time for this session.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to chat with you. It's been a while since we haven't chat, so happy to be here with you.
Thank you, John. So going forward, John, sports is, I would say, a very lucrative career in Europe. Unlike since you have in India, unlike India, where only a very particular kind of sports, cricket only had some, I would say, visibility unless and until IPL came, and then a lot of other sports came. But still, as far as the sports is concerned, it is very well followed. People are also, apart from the regular education, they pay a lot of attention also to sports. You were part of your team, captain of the team. So, what led you to have a career in management? What led you to pursue a management program?
I think that the reason why I pursue the management program is because, well, from the before joining university, typical, no, to explore different areas, and I think that I really like, no, the like to build things, to build projects, and also like the economy, leading with people, also like doing projects together with people. So there were different elements that I liked, and I found that the world of business, the world of companies, like kind of encapsulates all these areas. So that's why I decided to pursue a management program first in Barcelona in Esade, and then because I was also very curious about knowing new cultures, I decided to also go to IIM Ahmedabad, which was a great experience.
Okay, okay. So, okay. Given your experience while you were pursuing your management program, what did you find different between, let's say, the teaching methodology, the teaching environment, which you experience as that, which is a very prominent business school, and India in Ahmedabad?
Yeah, so I would say one of the main differences I saw was that in Barcelona, like from the third year on, like the program has like 5 years, the one I did. So like from the second, third year on, like lot of the like courses and domains are given through projects, like a lot of projects between teams and so on. And then of course you still have like the theoretical layer, and you analyze, like, I don't know, in the different domains like finance, marketing, law, and so on. You go deep in those domains, right? But there is a lot of projects going on, and one of the differences so in India is that there were projects, yes, but then like in the classes, I remember that people really like to go deep. No, I remember a course about capital markets, and the level of knowledge on the theories around capital market was really high. No, so there was a big depth also on theoretical knowledge that I was like quite amazed.
Okay, okay. And how was your experience in India per se? You traveled quite a bit the country.
Yeah, so I remember it because it was Christmas, in December, when I flew to India. So actually, I spent Christmas there because the that semester was beginning, and it was like nice, to experience Christmas in the campus and in Ahmedabad in a different way. The program, like I spent there like until March, I think March, kind of March, April, and then after that, I took advantage and I invited my parents and my brother to come to India. We did a very nice tour in Rajasthan. I was loving that part. It was super nice with all the palaces of the Marajas and so much history, in that area. And then I left my parents in Delhi. In no, actually we flew back to Mumbai. From Delhi to Mumbai, we spent a few days there, and then they leave, and I kind of meet again with friends from the uni in Ahmedabad in Mumbai. Spent there some time, and then went south to Bangalore and that area. So yeah, I could have like a flavor of the north, also a flavor of the south. Although I think there are a lot of places in the south that they still need to visit in India. So
Okay.
it's always good to live like reasons to get back to the country.
So hopefully we'll have your visit soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
So you had a multiple stint as an entrepreneur. So and I remember our interaction while you were interning with JLL in Bangalore.
Hmm.
And after JLL, you were with Deloitte and then Fagor, and then you founded in Betstai. So, and that was also in UK. So, what was your motivation in starting that entity enterprise, and what
Yeah.
work were you doing?
So I think that when you are in uni, it's kind of you reflect, no, on the type of projects you want to get involved to be involved in, but then also one of the good things in uni is that different type of people come do presentations and so on, so you kind of get like a sense, no, a flavor of different potential projects could bring you. So like starting up was when I was always listening to founders. There was this energy, this spark you could see it on them that I was attracted to. But of course, what you still don't know what you really want to do, right? So I tried like some experiences in big corporations, and then at some point I really was like wanting to try, to start up something. So I spent a few months like with one of my best friends, like talking about different business ideas, and for me it's important when I always try to when like understand what problems are in the society, in the world, and I always try to find like businesses that could match like the opportunity to make a social impact, to bring something and to improve the life of people somehow with the economic potential. I need both things in a project to really be attracted to, and those are the two elements I always look for in potential opportunities. So we were analyzing the evolution of societies, and my friend was working in UK. We were comparing, what people like face in different stages of life in both UK and in Spain, and we realized that whereas in Spain the pension system is still public, and it means that people when they retire, most of them kind of get like a decent pension. In UK, we realized that the risk of getting enough money or not getting enough money lies a lot in the individuals, which means that a big percentage of the society like really does well, but then there is another big percentage of society that they don't have the skills or the information and the tools needed to save enough, and then they shortfall, when they arrive to retirement there is a gap and they don't have enough money accumulated to have like a nice lifestyle during life, no? So seeing those differences, we saw like an opportunity in UK to bring a solution to help people plan better for their financial future. So we saw that it was a big problem affecting to a big portion of society, and we were happy to try to help them. And at the same time, we saw that it was a great business opportunity. So that's why we jumped into UK to start up.
Okay, okay. So, and then you ran it for almost 2 years, and then you transitioned into a regular kind of role, or was it after that experience you moved to another startup as maybe as a component? So, what led you to maybe let's say in a way close it down and then move?
Yeah. So the reason why I moved to from Investa to a new company was because I felt that my ambition, when I started up Investa, and then the reality and the direction the company was going, I felt that they were kind of separated, right? So that's why I decided that it was the right moment for me to leave and to continue other projects because Investa is still like it's going on, it's operating with a slightly different approach. And basically, what we found in UK is that, we tried different business models. Like first of all, we had like a B2C approach to help directly the users, the people. What we found out is that typically, like people when they are in their late 30s, early 40s, they already have been like working in like 6, 7, 8, 9 different companies. So they have all their kind of pension schemes distributed in many different pension plans, and they don't have like a real view of okay, like what's everything I have, like a consolidated view of everything I have, and then from there, how much do I need to keep saving, or do I need to save more or less to get to my retirement goals, right? So we have clear that we wanted to solve this problem by giving this consolidated view and then adding like new potential products, to help people get to the retirement goals. But we didn't manage to really integrate with pension providers. They didn't really want to allow that. Then also it was very intensive, the customer acquisition. So that part didn't work. Then we shift the model and we started approaching. We tried like two different go-to-market strategies in the B2B sphere. That also didn't work. We didn't have enough traction there. And then we started like having like a different like reflecting on different direction. So once we settled the new direction of the company, I felt that it was going to be like a business that would grow a bit slower, not matching my ambition. And I decided to leave the company, still like helping like an advisor in the company. But yeah, I felt that it was the right moment to come back to Spain to join another startup. So that was the reason why I came back here. And I joined a UK company that had like a big development center in the Basque Country where I am from. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, if I so I think you might also be aware. I also had an entrepreneurship stint after IMA. Me and couple of more classmates. We started a consulting company, and then we did 3, 4 assignments. But it was not as successful as we would have wanted, so we moved. But what I learned was that entrepreneurship experience gives you something in a much more aggregate way. It's a kind of application of all that knowledge which you might have acquired, and then apart from, let's say, whatever backing you have of your education pedigree, you have to go and validate your ideas. But that experience itself is very enriching in terms of knowing about yourself. It is some way also a kind of exploration about yourself. So
Mhm.
after you had this interesting experience, how did you utilize it in the, as you mentioned, you joined another startup and then you moved to Badi and then couple of more organization. What a reflection, if you have to give something, how did it enrich your activities, and some places also you reach to senior levels?
Yeah. So there is one phrase of Mark Andreessen that I like, that I think that summarizes very well what the starting up is. That is like, as a founder, like you embark in a project, and then like you kind of to fight, you get punched all the time, like over and over. You try to one opportunity, then you try another one, but you keep getting punches, and then after some time, like still getting them, and you start kind of enjoying, the flavor of the blood. So that summarizes very well what starting up is, and I think like it really trained me and helped me to increase my resilience, my capacity to kind of be determined and keep like trying, no matter what the difficulties are. That's one. Then of course, when you start up a company, you always have to like have a very clear vision, but then at the same time, you really need to constantly be talking to potential customers, understand their problems, and the original idea, it never keeps the same way. Like
Okay.
for sure when you start one idea, it's sure that after some talks, some conversations, it will evolve over time, so you have to be flexible to kind of see the where the opportunity is, be strategic to kind of shift the idea, and then still works toward the vision, but be flexible to find the opportunities to gain traction. No, so it is this dance between being determined and strategic, but at the same time, like then understanding the needs of the people and adjusting, no, your solution to gain traction. And I think that that those skills, that training, you can apply it in so many different aspects of life. No, so at the end, we are living in a very dynamic world. Things are changing constantly. Like the work for forever. Will never exist any longer. People need to change works, need to learn new stuff, and so on, because things are moving so fast. And I think like when you start up something, like you work really hard in those skills. So it prepares you very well, no matter to start up another company or to lead and to have a leadership position in other big companies too.
Sure, sure. That's a great. Thank you for all those insights. So, the first entrepreneur experience and then working with startups made you much more wiser, I would say. What motivated you to start Vilma again?
So one of the things I felt in the in UK was that we were trying to help like people in their mid 40s, from that age on, like for mid 40s, 50s, and even people that were retired, right? But what I felt was that we were like kind of the boring guys, right? Like at the end, there is like a battle between, individually speaking, in life. There is a battle between enjoying, like enjoying today, expending, traveling, getting stuff, and so on, and saving for your future self, right? So there is a battle, and
Yeah.
not everyone likes to have empathy towards your future self, and it's easier
Okay.
to really focus on, okay, let's enjoy today, right? And we were the boring guys telling the people like, look, enjoying it fine, but you also have to think about your future self, right? So it wasn't very nice, to try to sell, because you could see, no, in the eyes of the people that it was something sometimes that they didn't want to hear, right?
Sure.
And in Vilma, like what happened to me is that I was working in another startup, and then the pandemic came, as you all know, so that allowed us to work a lot in remote, and it allowed me to go back to the Basque Country, where you have been, you
Yeah.
know my parents' house, right? So
Yeah.
I could escape from the city, be a bit in the village, like more calm, connected to the nature, and so on. And fortunately, like my mom at that period of time, she retired, so I could see in
Okay.
first hand how she transition from being a very busy woman to being a woman with a lot of time, in a new stage in her life. with a lot of energy to learn new stuff, learn how to cook like artisan food, artisan bread, sorry, like also how to make some paintings. She wanted also to learn how to write better and so on. So I saw a lot of energy there, a lot of energy to learn new stuff. And then I realized that there were not solutions there to really kind of serve no this
Sure.
segment, no this part of the population. So I saw an opportunity to keep helping seniors, but this time in a funny in a fun way, no. So now
Sure.
we were the fun guys, no. We were able to bring like new experiences, new learnings, things that would connect people also through classes, and I really like the idea, no. Of course,
Sure.
I did the research before deciding to launch the company, but I saw that, of course, the senior population is growing a lot, especially in Europe. The society is getting older, and it is an underserved segment. No? So there are a lot of opportunities you can do with seniors, and yeah, I thought that we could help people enjoy their life even in a later stage of life. No, so that's why we started Vilma.
Sure, sure. No, so I would say that's a very nice initiative, and as you rightly said, that in well-to-do countries, of course, Europe, as far as the social security is concerned, as far as the age is concerned, the average age is increasing lifespan. So people retire, and then they have significant amount of time for which, as you own personal experience, they do not have very meaningful activities to engage. So they search around and then they bring out all these activity by themselves. Even in case of India, I think the same situation, and not just India, I would say globally, the aging population is increasing.
Mhm.
Japan also has similar kind of issues, and even in the case of India, which is very often talked about, that India might have more better demographic dividend than China, but
Mhm.
India is a large country. I think India is now the most populous country in the world in a very small landscape. So, in absolute term basis, the number of older people is, of course, very significant. And recently, I was just reading an article where a lot of people, whether they are in private employment or public employment, and that also kids have a bit of a crib about that the parents they live poor die rich. So as you were saying, there is always a struggle that okay, there need to be some saving and maybe so that at a later period of time they could be less dependent on others for financial needs. But unfortunately there are not very proper mechanism to maybe guide based on research, etc. So I think the segment which you are in, it's very promising in my personal opinion. And of course I hopefully will see soon various, maybe let's say Vilma activities in other parts of the Europe. And it's, I would say, in a more structured manner that, in case I can use a terminology, that particular customer segment needs catering to. A very nice initiative. So, given all these experiences you have, excuse me, at multiple stint as an entrepreneur, in case you have to give some advice to entrepreneurs, let's say who are either working in a particular geography targeting or they are targeting multi countries, what are couple of things they should maybe those traits they should have, and what kind of maybe let's say outlook towards such ventures do they have? So any suggestions because you have been a serial entrepreneur?
Mhm. Yeah, so of course, talking from my experience and things that I learned for myself, I will share with people. Happy to share, and if that helps, like more than happy. Like I think that it's very important to really like be energized by the type of problem you're trying to solve because like you really need to be obsessed with it, right? You will think over and over and over about it from different angles, from different perspectives, from the perspective of the end user, from the perspective of the market, from the macro level, from the micro level. So you really need to enjoy thinking about it because you're going to spend a lot of time, right? Dealing with it. So finding a problem that you want to solve that really energizes you and really motivates you is like number one. You know, without that, it's going to be very difficult that you will be successful because the journey is very long, right? And at least in myself, I always think long term. Then it's true that when it comes to startups and when it comes to VC funding, there is always a game of exiting. No, at some point there has to
Yeah,
be an exit once you enter in that cycle, but yet the best way to get there is still I think that it's fine thinking always like long term, right?
sure.
And therefore you really need to enjoy doing what you're doing. Second, I would say that like really partnering with people you really enjoy spending time with. Also, it's going to be very important. Literally, you're going to spend more time with them than with your wife, husband, and daughters and sons. So you better choose wisely the person that or the persons that you want to start up with. Then of course there's going to be like tension moments, and sometimes it's positive that there are these moments, but before launching something like that, I recommend that you spend like decent quality amount of time with a potential co-founder to really make sure that yeah you have like common vision, common values, and you can really see working it together, right? Uh, so that's the second one, and then I think that it's important also to manage expectations. That I think we are bombarded, no, by stories of successful entrepreneurs
Yeah,
that maybe like in their early 20s they start up the company and it rocketed, and in 3 4 years they were billion-dollar companies. The reality, if you take like the statistics, the failures rate is very big. So statistically, there is like a big chance, no, that at the end the startup won't work. Of course, one characteristic that we all founders have is that we are very optimistic, and
yeah,
we really believe that we are going to change the world and we are going to make it. Uh, but it's important to be prepared mentally that it's not going to be, there is a saying in Spanish, camino de rosas. Uh, Literally translating, it's like a route of roses, which means that it's not going to be straightforward, like where you're going to be first go here, then go there, then there, and it's hard. But if you really enjoy the problem, if you really enjoy like building the project together with your teammates and co-founder, it doesn't feel like working. It feels like fun. Of course, with really many tough moments too. I'm not going to pretend everything is fun, but it's enjoying. So I think that those 3 points are very important.
sure, sure. No, thanks, John, for giving all those insights. And I was just couple of days ago, I was just watching Jeff Bezos' one old interviews in which he talks about that they acquire companies small and big. But what they keep on looking, and which you rightly said at the beginning, a long-term perspective. So I was mentioning that they look at companies from two kind of categories they divide, missionaries and mercenaries. So missionaries are the ones who have a very long-term view. Mercenaries who was primarily there for exiting purpose. So it is the
Hmm.
missionaries which they pay attention because they are taking long-term view, long-term perspective. They are into the game. They are spending a lot of time there. So very
Yeah,
rightly put it, because unless and until you see it a long-term perspective, you will not enjoy, and then there will be more frustration.
yeah,
And
totally.
yeah,
Yeah,
and of
totally. I
course,
think that I think that it's like there's only one possible way in my opinion, like to be the visionaries, because uh, the mercenaries, maybe it works in some cases,
yeah,
but I believe that the journey itself doesn't bring any value, no, to if you really are looking for the exit. And sometimes it's so hard, and the exit might happen or might not, and for sure what happened in the very short term. So if it happens, it will have it in the midterm or long term. So unless you really enjoy the journey and that kind of brings you back the energy needed, it's going to be very difficult if your only objective is the exit.
Agreed, agreed. So rightly said. With your experience across geography in an academic immersion capacity, as well as working with particular organization, if you have to suggest, let's say people who are maybe going for a cross-border academic experience, or even let's say working, what are maybe a couple of few points you could tell which will help them make most out of these experiences?
You mean when choosing the destination?
Yeah, choosing the destination, or maybe let's say when they are already undergoing the program, in case they have to make most out of the environment, the interactions, all that, what are a couple of steps which they should take?
Okay. Yeah. So in my case, for the first part, for choosing the destination, I had like previous to joining IIM Ahmedabad, I was like the previous summer I was working in LATAM in Latin America, like in a cooperation project, like consulting project to help like a regional company in Guatemala. So that experience I really loved it because I was kind of embarked in a business project, but in a different culture, in LATAM. And then when I wanted to kind of go and do my international program, I really wanted to change also, like to go to a new culture, a culture that would be considerably different from the Spanish one, from the European one. That was one of my criteria, to really choose a country that would be considerably different from Spain. I wanted to go to Asia, and then also back then, like economically, and still are, no, but China and India were growing like super fast. So that was also like something attractive for me. No, I really wanted to experience firsthand, no, what's going on in the country, no, to see what kind of vibe is happening there. So those were my criteria to choose India, and also from the cultural point of view, I was very attracted to the country. And then once there, once in the campus, and I think that's like an advice I can share with others. I really try to connect both with international students, but also with the students that were living in India, right? Because sometimes it's easy to just be in your bubble of
Yeah,
foreign students, and it's cool, because everyone is in the same mood, really wanting to explore, very open to meet people, and it's really good and fun, no, to be in that group. But I really encourage also to connect a lot with the local people, because that's going to bring you the richness also, no? And in
agreed.
my case, I really had very good relationship with the colleagues in the dorm, and then also when I went to Bangalore, I was like literally like staying in the house of a friend in Ahmedabad. So yeah, it was a very rich experience, and mostly it was due to kind of connecting with both the international colleagues as well as the colleagues that were from India.
Okay, okay. And also, what are other couple of things which people? So one you talked about that. Okay, going out of the let's say the so-called comfort zone and interacting. What other strategies people could utilize? Because I saw that you were also playing a lot of sports, not just academic
Yeah,
activities, and then and
yeah,
of course
definitely.
people. And of course, football has also very big fan following in India, and Spain very prominent in football.
Definitely. That was great. Like I could join the team of the football team, and that was real fun. So I couldn't join the cricket team because I was very bad, and I think they didn't accept me. But yeah, no, you're right. Like anywhere you go, if any chance that you may have to really maybe join the football team, the basket team, or I don't know the the music.
The
If there
sports.
is a,
Yeah,
if there is a music band, the music band, no, whatever. But any activities that can kind of connect you with a mixed and diverse group of people, both maybe international students as well as students that are from that place. That's the best way to know people, actually. No, so yeah, that's a very good point. I would strongly recommend to do that.
sure, sure. Okay, so we are at the end of the session. Thank you, John, for joining and sparing time. It's great pleasure, and of course, I'll keep on following your activities with Vilma, and hopefully, maybe one day you'll some setup would also come to India or to Europe. So
For
thank you
sure,
for
I'll
joining.
let you know. I hope it happens soon to visit back
Yeah,
India.
sure, sure.
It's been
So
a
I'll
pleasure.
just
Yeah,
yeah, sure, sure.
yeah.
Great, thanks. So I'll just stop the live stream. You can be there.